I recently watched Johnny Candito's video on training in lower RPE and how many elite power lifters already train when they do their multiple sets. They target, let's say, the RPE 7, but in fact, they start with the first set being RPE 4, and their RPE 7 cap, right? Their last set might not even hit RPE 7. But they're elite powerlifters for a reason, right? And the one issue that Johnny pointed out was how many intermediate lifters would be lifting multiple sets at RP 8. Like first set will be RP 8, and then sets after that will be RP 9, and then RP 10. Going at the same weight or going down in weight after going for RP 9, right? My takeaway from that video is training at a lower RPE might be more sustainable, and instead of pushing yourself to accumulate more fatigue, right? Because a heavy set of squats, for example, at 90% for RPE 8, it's definitely less fatiguing at the same set for RPE 10, right? Like 2 more reps. And it also might be less injury prone compared to the RPE 10 set. And training with less effort per se might actually be more sustainable in the long run and be more effective, with the living proof of many elite powerlifters and how they train, right? And also the studies that were brought up by data-driven strength in the video of how training at a lower RPE, is less fatiguing and possibly more effective. I think the takeaways from the video can be applied to high intensity, high frequency training of the Bulgarian method for powerlifting, right? Because I am squatting and benching every day. It's very often a mistake of mine, and I think many of my fellow intermediate lifters, where you want to lift maybe 5 or 10 more pounds, and I think, I did, for example, this weight, and I feel like RPE 6. If I go up 10 pounds, it'll be RPE 8. But if I go up 15 or 20 pounds, it'll probably be RPE 9, right? But what ended up happening is that 5 pounds, especially for bench press, can be the difference between RPE 8 and 10, right? And when you go for RPE 10, that kind of fatigue can carry over to the next couple of days. And then the same applies for squats, right? Let's say you're going for a 300-pound RP 8, and you hit that weight and it's actually RP 6, so you say, okay, let's go to 320, right? But then 320 ends up being RP 10 when you actually wanted to hit an RP 9 or RP 8, right? But because intermediate lifters might not be very good at estimating RPEs, this is where the video talks about undershooting might be beneficial and a better option than overshooting, right? Causing fatigue to be accumulated over time. And that fatigue can affect you in the long run with hitting PRs and possibly getting injured. Anyways, for today, I did 3 count pause low bar squats, and those went really, really well. I was feeling tired today, like I only got 7 hours of sleep, and I was feeling a bit sick, but ultimately I was fine. I really like doing the 3 count because that essentially takes out all of this stretch reflex, I think. So I have to really use my legs to push the weight up, and I feel my legs in these pause squats over like a 1 count or 2 count. So I really like these. And then for bench today, I did feet up bench. And I think in a few videos ago, I think in my Calgary barbell videos, I said that my feet up bench is not that much weaker than my main comp pause bench. But I think when the weight gets heavier, I tend to use more of my leg drive in the regular bench, whether it's pause or touch and go. And when it gets near my maximal weight, I don't have the leg drive, right? So the weight actually feels harder when it gets heavier. So that's one thing that I experienced for today. So I worked up to 225 and then 235. And I felt like that was a good weight for my daily min, which my comp pause bench and my close grip pause bench are at 240 for daily min. So 235, I think it's a good place. And then I went up 10 pounds again to 245. and then 245 ended up being my daily max. I wanted to go to 250 after 245, but seeing how 245 moved, I just made 245 my daily max for today. So I don't have any music playing for that set because my girlfriend was talking to her family. So, but now I'm doing 225 pounds for 2 sets of 3, and it felt harder at first, but after the second set, it actually ended up being RPE 8. I think I just have to get used to how it feels with doing without leg drive, right? And I've only done feet up bench like 4 or 5 times. I started doing it when I was on Calgary Barbell 8-week program, but like mid program I hop onto this program. So I think every week I'll be doing feet up bench. So hopefully it gets easier. So like I said, I did watch that Candito video, after this workout, but today, based on what I've planned, is the day for sumo deadlifts. So after this bench set, I worked up to some sumo deadlifts, and I did a single of 405 beltless. And I in my previous videos, I've said that conventional feels better for me, and it still does in terms of bracing, just the narrower stance for me. But sumo deadlift is undeniably easier for me, right? And 405 felt more around like 355, 360 if I were to do that, right? And I'll probably recover worse on doing conventional than sumo even if I were to pull a lot more weight with sumo. I think it's just because of the longer range of motion and how much more a longer torso, like how I have a super long torso, how that affects recovery in terms of conventional versus sumo, right? And sumo, it's easier on recovery for sure. The weight felt really easy, like easier than usual, even after I squatted. So I worked up to 355, thinking that I would stop there. But after that, I just jumped 50 pounds up to 405. I think that's a bit of my ego getting in the way, but I think that was more like a RP, maybe 8. So I think I'm good for today. I'll see how I recover for tomorrow. So you'll see me do 355 right here and then 405. So I'll end the commentary right here so y'all can see my 405. And thank you for watching, and I really appreciate it. See y'all tomorrow. Peace out. Also, sorry for the noise. My girlfriend was cooking.